Sellers, man, getting a little bit reversally here. Doesn't look like they want to make it up to that point. Looks like the aggressors are still the ones in the lead. From a volume perspective, I'll say that the bulls probably realized they were wrong on this drop. So we'll go across that. Yeah, that's back up at 165. It just looks so much better up here. Way better area. Doesn't mean it'll go up there, of course, but. Then again.
So we are now 10 minutes away from the top of the hour, where we do see the release of the US existing home sales. The forecast 6.1 million with a prior 6.18 million. The range seen at 6.52 million to 5.81 million. We also have the Eurozone
pulse up into the first zone.
A forecast -8 and the prior of -8.5. US existing home sales change forecast -1.5.
First objective in around like the 46s or so.
And the US leading index change month on month forecast 0.2%, prior 0.8%.
Tried hitting the ask on that, but got top asked. Still looking for sell side rejection back down with larger targets. Hopefully back down towards the lows would be the really nice objective. Almost to the POC. Oh, they hit it to the tick. And I got one. Okay. There we go. Larger objective. I mean, I don't know if it's going to actually get a halfway decent run back to the downside or not, but if it does, that expands down to the 41s, possibly further.
Western officials say that the imposition of possible sanctions on Russia will take place if we judge Russia has crossed the line in Ukraine, but that line may not be. That line may be complex. Let's repeat that. Western officials stating that the imposition of possible sanctions on Russia will take place if we judge that Russia has crossed the line in Ukraine, but that line may be complex.
First objective, I'm going to sweep off just a bit early on some of this Russia stuff to make sure that that one's just off and good. And see if I can grab an extra one up here at a better price. There we go. Now, if the market does want to get a pulse back to the upside, we're hovering, if we're looking at an algo perspective, from the algos on the highs, the 2-to-1s would be actually right where we are now. The 3-to-1s would be a little bit further up at around the 87s. Let's drive that average up a little bit further. That will place 1, 2, 3. Oh, what's this random one just hanging out? I guess that'll be a run. Now, the way that I'm looking at this, and the assumption is that they're going to try to trap the high at 218. We also have the 165s, and max greed objectives off of the 165s are just a bit further up, right at around the 202s. So we don't necessarily have a reason to add too much to the risk until they get up into like the 203s, but I'm still driving my average up to keep it on the safe side.
The nuclear talks take days or weeks. And senior EU officials say that we are in the final stages of Iran nuclear negotiations with Vienna. EU official says it is unclear if we will get the deal in the coming days. It's depending on political will.
Almost up to 1 mini.
5 minutes now to the top of the hour, where we do see the US existing home sales. A forecast 6.1 million on the prior 6.18 million. The range seen at 6.52 million.
Okay, I can get rid of those. I can't see anything from where that is. We've got the trap above the highs.
With the prior
first cycle down would be like the 97s.
Range there seen at -6.5 to -10. The US existing
Let's see if they can get a little bit of a pulse back down here.
1.3% on the prior
Downside objectives, if they do want to rifle this back, would be more based off of the previous larger swing here now.
0.8%.
POC is still kind of close.
Seeing more from the senior EU.
They've got some making up to do.
Delegations have shown they want to compromise on the Iran deal, and says that we are close to a final text. The EU hopes will be the final agreement on the Iran deal.
They did get the trap above the top. Still 1-to-1 targets just behind the POC. That's mildly frustrating, but you know, okay. Pushing back up towards the resistance zone. I'd like to see them get maybe a little bit further up here. Likely, if the bulls are going to be coming in on the other end, which we are going to have to monitor, they're not going to be coming in until at least the 76s. So we've still got some room. We do have news at 10 o'clock, right around the corner. The news at 10 is the existing home sales. Looking for the continuation slide down if they can get it. This is where the bulls are anticipated to start trying to come in the opposite direction, and there they are. So we've got to hedge the bets a little bit. Would like to see if I can sell a slightly better price up in like the, you know, even the 8s wouldn't hurt my feelings, but we'll see if they can keep it going. They got their max greed. S&P hitting the 8850 zone of resistance. I've been too absorbed into the Nasdaq to see the S&P, but we are there. This is where the bulls are, again, anticipated to start trying to push the market back up. So just piecing out of a little bit on the way up with the intention of selling if it goes back up to the highs, because I do still believe this is a Goldman Sachs and they're looking for a new low. We've just got some crap to work through, that's all. And markets rarely ever go in one direction. "30 seconds to news. Existing home sales forecast is 6.1 million. Previous was 6.18. 20 seconds.
$6.5 million, $6.5 million. That is higher than the forecast of
6.5 actual.
6.1 million. Seeing the Eurozone consumer confidence as well. That is coming out now. -8.8, -8.8. But that is lower than the forecast of -8.0. Seeing.
All right, there's the sellers finally taking some profit down here.
US existing home sales change coming out now 6.7%, 6.7%. This is higher than the forecast of -1.3%.
Geez, that was short-lived, huh? All right. Well, down to the POC. That's got to be the next objective. See if they can push through. Lordy.
0.3% lower than the forecast of 0.2%.
We are inside of the zone for the bulls to try to pressure through. We are also back down towards settlement. As far as the bulls on the opposite side of stuff, we're past the swings. We're just now getting into the one-to-ones down here. All right, I'll piece one off right here again on top of settlement, and we'll see if this last one can really run through. The 2-to-1, 3-to-1 algo pocket doesn't kick up until maximal point 132.50. As far as continuation to the downsides, we also have, what the heck is a 2-to-1? Technically speaking, the 2-to-1 objective would be there off of that swing high.
And the Eurozone Consumer Confidence Report for February 2022 is available on the feed.
Well, let's hit the, gotcha, yeah.
Just looking into the US existing home sales report here, some of the key highlights. In January 2022, existing home sales rose to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.5 million.
Ooh, those wicks too.
6.7% from the prior month, with sales up in all regions. At the end of December, the inventory was unsold. The inventory of unsold existing homes fell to a new all-time low of 860,000, which is the equivalent of.
Now we can just let it go and go and go and go and go.
Also an all-time low. The median existing home sales
holding below the POC.
Stronger pace of 15.4% on a year-over-year basis to $350,300.
Very nice continuation. Keep going, Nasdaq. Looking at it from the other side, just to keep an eye on where things are at. The scalper's downside objective doesn't hit until...
And the US existing home sales report for January 2022 is also available.
137s. If we see too much support in the 37s to 32s, it's probably going to be game over in the short term. S&P 4380 POC retest. Yeah, what a crazy hit. See how the sellers want to respond here.
The geopolitical space, Iran-backed Hezbollah says they launched a drone into Israel.
Starting to look like a V bottom into a V top into a V bottom. Like, geez. Bears still trying to keep the pressure on. We're not down to the zone of support yet in the 37s.
Shimizu here. It says that Japan gained G20 understanding for continuing monetary easing, given the low inflation compared with the US and the UK.
Market's still kind of pinging around the POC area.
We do also have the US leading index January 2022 full reports available on the feed for those interested.
And now we wait. It's not much to really do anymore. I guess we'll just leave it alone. Bitcoin, whoa. Whoa, what happened on Bitcoin? Come on, Nasdaq. I know it's low down here. You got to punch these 30s and make them look like they don't even exist. Hit them. Hit them. Just smash their face off. Come on. Nope. Too much. I'm out. Now that I'm out, they'll go. But that's too much support in the zone. I can't chance that. Fantastic ride back to the downside. We're finally able to get the thing to rotate, but there's too much support in anticipated zone area where the bulls are going to try to push back. I only have the one left, and well, I've got to take profit and support. So Biden to talk regulation about Bitcoin USD. Gotcha. If there are more contracts, there were still downside objectives in here, the 14102s. That's the next spot, but I'm not going to mess with this area. Fantastic rotation back down again.